Hello and welcome to a bit of a spontaneous dev diary video. I wasn't expecting one today, but you know what? I'll take every little bit of news about this game that I possibly can. So, Ioannis saw some comments regarding changes that deserve their own thread. Basically, things that need a little bit more elaboration, a little bit more information, things that we maybe just didn't know enough about. The small little teases that we've gotten, clearly not enough. So, firstly, governors. Local governors, as default, each country can only have one. Kingdoms and empires get another +1, and then there's an Age of Discovery advance giving one, and another one in the Age of Absolutism. So that's going to be basically 4 max. I imagine along the, long into the future, we're probably going to have a lot of countries having unique advances that give +1 as well. I would imagine that's maybe already the case. For naval governors, you get one from Harbour Administration Act in the Age of Traditions, and another one from Naval Infrastructure Act in the Age of Reformation, both of which require at least 50 towards naval. Okay, that's cool. I kind of... Naval Infrastructure Act and Harbour Administration Act. Are these... These aren't advances, are they? Otherwise they wouldn't be called acts. Are these laws, perhaps? Either way, or maybe government reforms. Either way, that's also very cool. Again, naval governors, I think, are only going to be overseas, so they are going to be very situational. Very situational. Each governor has a building upkeep of about 10 gold a month. Okay, that's quite expensive then, which may not be much for a big empire, but it's not a negligible cost. If we go back and look at the post that we had on this dev diary, this one here, this actual image is exactly what I'm looking for. 10 gold a month is a lot, but when you consider the control that Spain is getting, right? This essentially is, obviously, it's their capital. This little area that I'm circling with my mouse is all the control that Castile would get at the start of the game, and even like less than this, honestly, because there's clearly been some roads added, and this is a little further into the game. But this is all control they would get. For 10 gold a month, Castile's getting an extra pocket of control, and another 10 gold a month, an extra pocket of control, another 10 gold a month, an extra pocket of control. I think these pockets are probably bringing in more than 10 gold a month. I think they are paying for themselves. It is an investment, and you have to be sure that it is something that you are going to get value out of. But I do think that in this case at least, it is definitely worth it. Secondly, saw some comments about how the meta of releasing everything below a certain control as subjects would make all of these changes to control not much matter to the player, but be more of a way to weakening the AI. Well, we didn't mention yet the change that you got. You have some restrictions on what lands you can create into a subject. Something that is your core cannot be made into a subject. Okay! That is interesting. So if you have a full core on a piece of territory, you can't make that into a subject anymore? That is, that's a big change. That is a big change. This is going to impact a lot of the France plays are releasing, the southern areas as vassals. England doesn't start with cores on Cornwall, so Cornwall can still be released, but they can't release any vassals in northern England, though they already have some up there, so they could probably just give that land over to them. Okay, this is a quite a large change. I kind of like that. I do and I don't, because I think it is important to prevent this subject spam, because it is really awkward. It's definitely a meta play, and it doesn't feel natural. Preventing that by making it so that you can't release core land is probably the most natural way to do it, right? If this is my core land, I'm not going to release it, right? If it is just integrated or not cored at all, then yeah, I feel like the governance of that state would be more willing to you know, let that go to a vassal. Some people are going to have issues with that, though, for sure. I'm almost certain of it. But yeah, that is a big change. That is a big change. Bailiffs also have some tiny drawbacks, as it reduces enfranchisement in the locality as well. That makes sense. Peasant enfranchisement, like, we learned a little bit about it, but it is something that I'm going to need a little bit more time to digest, a little bit more information about. If we have a look in here, probably the easiest way would be peasant enfranchisement. Where is it? Here. Depending on serfdom and free subjects, incomes would be going to the peasants, would be going instead to the nobles. Is this a massive drawback to the player? I mean, I think so, because peasants you get a lot of tax from. You get a lot of your income from peasants purely because there's so many of them. If 10% of that money is being taken away by the bailiff, it's only on one location, so I'm not sure I would care super much. But it is, you know, this does mean you're getting fewer taxes. So you don't want to be building your bailiff in a place where there is a large amount of peasant buildings. It should be like in a location on its own. It's kind of a shitty location, you know. Put the police station over there in the slums, not in the slums, in the place where no one lives. And then, you know, if they want to, you know, police people, they can drive there, or, you know, I'm making crap up, but I feel like this is not as big of a drawback if you plan correctly. But either way, it was just a small Tinto extra on a Sunday. Hopefully you are going to be interested in some of these changes. I like that we got a bit more information about the governors, and this is, I think, the one where you are going to see a little bit more controversy. But we will see how that goes. Tonight, in approximately, for me at least, 3 hours, I am going to be streaming a brand new EU5 multiplayer where I am playing as the Teutonic Order, and I'm quite looking forward to it. It's not a game that's being hosted by me. I was invited to a new server to play in it, so I don't know everybody on the server yet, but I'm excited to get back into some E5 multiplayer. Unfortunately, it is not with this Rossback update. This is with vanilla and you know, 1.0, 1.1, well, whatever the number is right now, 1.10. I'm looking forward to playing multiplayer again. So if you are interested in watching some multiplayer E5, then head on over to my Twitch channel. There's a link in the description. Or, you know, just subscribe to this channel. That'd also be pretty cool. If you're only a YouTube person, I do upload all my VODs onto my VOD channel. Again, there's a link in the description if you want to go find that out. But anyway, thank you all very much for watching. I am going to go and prepare for my multiplayer game tonight, and I hope to see you in Twitch chat. See you then. Bye-bye.